Hello everybody, welcome to Battlefield of Eternity. Bob is going up against Roccat today in a best of one. The teams want to move on towards the final of the End of the Storm qualifier, and they are facing each other here on Battlefield of Eternity. Two very strong teams, and this is going to be a super fun match. First of all, we have an Abathur in the mix, which is always great. Roccat is using an Abathur together with a Jaina so that they can go for a Jaina copy. Double Jaina in those fights is pretty scary, and they also have a very strong lineup with running two tanks. They have a Johanna here and also an Anubarak. But on the other side, we see a draft that is super interesting, and Bob is just like putting these compositions out there these days. A lot of old school stuff, some kind of new meta as well at times, but today we are seeing them with something that we've seen in the past. A long time ago in the beta and also in the alpha, they run as Stitches together with Tyrande and with Uther. So moving in, trying to just hook a target, stun it out, take it down. And they also have a Zeratul in the mix as well, who did not get bent out today, so they can use that Void Prison during those fights as well. A very cool, very aggressive setup that Bob is using here, but of course we're having a strong lineup for Roccat as well. Battlefield of Eternity is a map that is still a bit newer, I want to say. The teams are getting used to it, and we see it a bit more often these days, but it's still a map where you can work on your timings a lot, and where a lot of teams have come up with new strategies. Stitches here can be great, especially during those immortal fights, so this is going to be a fun one, and I hope that you guys are ready for it. Bob versus Roccat coming up next. The game is on, and hopefully also the heat, because this game is going to be exciting. Battlefield of Eternity is the map once again, and we have Roccat versus Bob. This is a pretty cool setup, and why is that? Because these two teams met in two finals of two different tournaments already, and every time Bob won it with a 2-1, and Roccat, they won revenge. It's the semi-final of the End of the Storm qualifier. We're having to the left side Roccat with Zocco on Johanna. We're seeing Hazops on Abathur, Shadowmar on Malfurion, Chris on Jaina, and Sport Billy on Anubarak. To the right side of the map, Bob with ADRD, the former Gamers 2 player on Zagara, Snitch on Zeratul, Athera Angel on Stitches, yes, you heard right, Stitches, Bakery on Uther, and Zarmony on Tyrande. A very cool thing to see Stitches back in action again. So Stitches is going to be played here. Wow, I actually find it super interesting to see now also Seasoned Marksman taken for Snitch. Not really a talent that you would expect on this map in particular, since a lot of those fights will happen in the mid lane. Well, not in the lane, but in the middle of the map, where we don't have any creeps, so apparently he really feels that he can still do that. Who's playing that Tyrande this time? Zarmony is playing it, missing a stun here. Was a good hook by Athera Angel. This is of course one of those things that you're really trying to do here on this map. Trying to use Stitches, especially in the middle of the map, to get those additional hooks in and then drop those stuns. And we are already talking a bit about how Snitch was the guy who last time played Tyrande. It didn't really work out too well for them, at least in the early game. They won the game on 2 on the Spider Queen and in the end. But at the beginning of the match, Snitch definitely having quite a lot of problems with hitting those stuns. In this case, now they use Zarmony on Tyrande. And let's see if they can actually make that work, because Stitches is still a really big deal, a big problem if you get those hooks in. Beetles, on the other hand, screw with hooks quite regularly, and therefore, well, Anubarak is a pretty good choice to go up against this particular build. Stitch is going for the sustain build, not really a surprise. True Your Food on level 1, Amplified Healing then probably on level 4. We're having no big surprise in this game thus far. There's already the stun, but no, well, actually no stun. Bakery was apparently supposed to be the one to stun the target out, but he wasn't fast enough. Sport Billy moved away, and now we have the Immortals in the middle of the map. At the top lane, Zagara is starting to push. This is where we saw Jaina so far pushing against her, and sorry, Johanna of course. And Johanna, of course, with her Condemn can do a lot of damage with that Knight takes pawn talent that she usually takes on level 1. Once again, the Athera Angel is there. Mines everywhere. Abathur is starting to become a bit of a pain. And he can soak 2 lanes on this map, which is one of the main reasons to run Abathur here. Once again, the stun attempt, but not really working out. Sport Billy is still in a bit of trouble, though. And Snitch had to blink away here already. Needs to well up. And a good hook, but no follow-up just yet. So they get the hooks in, but Athera Angel definitely hitting those quite well, but they need to get those stuns too. And Shadowmar in trouble, and good kill. First blood against the healer on the side of Roccat. So Bob taking a slight lead in this situation. At the top lane, Hazops is soaking with his body experience. We have Zeratul moving over though, And yeah, Snitch already scouted out, so Hazops knows what's up. But at the bot lane, Zagara is now pushing against Roccat. And both of the teams are heading straight into level 4 with a double protective shield even on the side of Bob. Using that on Uther and also on Tyrande here. Well, really interesting. Oh, that doesn't look too good for Johanna. But thanks to her iron skin, she's able to get away. So Soccer trying to disrupt that attack against the Immortal a bit. We're having now both of the Immortals roughly on the same level. And of course, it's all about like taking down the Immortal of your opponent as fast as you can. The faster you do that, the more hit points your own Immortal has when you take down the opponent's one, the bigger the shield that the Immortal is going to get that spawns for you and pushes your lane. So right now we're seeing both of the teams aiming for the mid lane again up to the top. Hazops is there. There's the attack, and Hazops is not going to make it. So Abathur killed out. Would have probably been a bit better over here in that small bush, I guess, and he wouldn't have survived either way. But in this case, killing Abathur just easily like that is a big blow already to Roccat. And Bob is one level ahead. Sport Billy moving away, the hook just a bit too short. That's what she said. And we have the stun against Malfurion. So just like that, it is a lead for Bob that they are starting to establish here against the Abathur composition. And talking Abathur, Hazops is getting farmed right now. Snitch jumping in and taking him down again. He just appeared on the map again, and Snitch was already waiting for him apparently. We're having global mines taken on the side of Abathur on level 4. The Laws of Hope on Johanna. And level 6.5 already for Bob. And they're moving in now with Stitches, of course, going for the sustain build. Rocking that increased killing talent, and a kill against Malfurion. 4 kills against 0. The aggression that we're seeing currently on the side of Bob really paying off. That Zeratul pick also delivering damage. And keep in mind that it's a bit of an old school trick to just hook in a target later on, especially with level 16 and the increased range on the hook, and then just simply void prisoning the rest of the team so that you have plenty of time and ample opportunity to drop this one target that you isolated and therefore gain an advantage in the upcoming team fight. We have level 7 talents ready now, and that means Tenderizer for Stitches with Zeratul going for focused attack and follow through. Sport Billy gets hooked, but the stun, they get the kill. Wow. Bob is wrecking them right now. Oh my god, I mean, it's 5 kills against 0, and they're really having a massive advantage already in this game. Of course, once the level 10 abilities come into play and we see both teams with the heroics, it could definitely change. But at this point, it's really Bob calling the shots here and pressuring them. Another hook attempt. Ethereal Angel at this point is not going, well, he's not going to land this hook, but he was really close. We have Lunar Blaze taken on level 7 for Tyrande. Here now finally also the talents for Roccat, and that means Frost Armor here on the side of Jaina. We're seeing also the spines in this case, where you do a bit of extra damage. It's actually interesting to see this one. Oftentimes when you see the spines taken on level 7, then you also have the level 4 talent where you can deal out area of effect damage with every single auto attack. It's more of a pushing build than anything else, which really works well on maps where the lanes are very close together, since you can roam the maps and just like farm the globes, or basically just push both lanes back. Works on Blackheart's Bay, works on, let's say, Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's interesting to see the talent here. I didn't really expect it, to be honest with you. So, curious to see how exactly Sport Billy is going to run with this one. I'm wondering if that is a misclick, to be honest with you, because I don't really see a reason for it at this point. Having additional sustain against the potential hook that could hit, I completely understand that. But the extra damage, thanks to the carapace, what exactly are you going to use that for? It just feels a bit off. But, well, let's see how much damage he can put out with this later on. It's an interesting choice. So, might be something that he just picks up to get more damage in for his team, but I think they already have a fair amount of that. But, well, time will tell. So, we have them now also on level 7 with the Vile Nests here for the additional slow. Abathur is doing his thing. Up at the top lane, by the way, Chris has to defend against the Bruiser camp, or sorry, the Siege Giant camp that was taken before. In this case is, of course, those... Oh, that was a close one right now. That nearly worked, but yeah, in the end, that hook not landing. So we have the Immortals spawning again. and it is level 10 already for Roccat. So Roccat is moving over here. They kept the camp at the perfect time. You want to get those bruiser camps when the immortals are about to spawn, so that they can push one lane, and you are the one team that has a very solid position in the mid lane going for the objective, whereas your opponent has to worry about pushing the bruiser camp first. And in this case, it's already a great situation for Roccat, since they have the level 10 ability, and there's just no chance whatsoever that Roccat moves into the mid lane and says like, alright, we're gonna take that team fight right now. Without the heroic abilities, you should never fight, never. You might have to give an objective, it might be annoying, but there is very little that you can do when you don't have your own heroics. So this is currently what they're doing. We have Shadowmar and Zocca in position at the bot lane. Yeah, well, this particular immortal was already dropped to half health. There is now the heroics in play for Roccat. We're still having nearly a level lead for their opponents, but still they have the blessed shield now. We're seeing them also with the water elemental tranquility, the ultimate evolution of course for the double Jaina and the web blast. And now that is really the time when Roccat has to show us their teamfight abilities. A double Jaina is super scary, and having that web blast on the healer at the same time is basically a guaranteed kill if you play it right. So they have to showcase that now, because if they don't, then they're going to be in trouble. Good hook and stun, and the Iron Skin saving her for now. But already Web Blast being used. There's the bubble and the more at the same time. Void Prison and more are going to be gone in a second. And the kill against the copy on Jaina. Can they get another hook in? Maybe against Sport Billy. A Hero Angel is waiting for the cooldown. Beetles everywhere are going to prevent that, at least for now. He's going to try and get Sport Billy on an Uberak. But they're focusing again on Johanna. And thanks to the extra... Oh, that last second Iron Skin. But it's Jaina that gets hooked by Stitches, and therefore another kill for Bob. They are 6 kills against 0. Very much ahead in this game now. They have a lead in experience, they have a lead in kills, and this immortal is looking extremely good for them now, because, well, their own immortal nearly has full HP, so that means there is going to be a massive shield on it once that they defeat the blue one. And that's exactly what they did right now. So you can see that shield gathering up in just a second. There it is. Massive shield for it. Gonna push the bot lane where we already have AD in position. Sport Billy is just waiting here. It's a solid level lead that we're seeing against for Bob, and they move to the opposite side of the map, which is basically the standard these days, to try and push this fort down, whereas Roccat of course has to move to the bot lane to defend against the immortal. And Zocca is very much alone up here at the top. He's trying to use his shield glare for now, but he needs to make sure that he stands behind a few of the creeps so that Stitches can't get another hook in. And Stitches is really trying to position himself so that he can hit that hook. The bot lane immortal is already about to be taken out. The shield is gone, but he might be able to get that tower. Yes, the tower falls, and level 13 is ready for the team. With level 13, we have a Mutalisk now, of course Wormhole, and it is for Stitches Relentless, and they are moving in from behind. They really want to kill now, don't they? They are going in, they have a Shrink Ray on Uther, and they are abandoning the idea apparently. Zocca over here. Now, well, the disengaged Void Prism has been used. A Hero Angel super low. There comes a very good stun, but the heal, the burst heal in the last second, and the Divine Shield. But the Web Blast on Uther, and now all of a sudden Bakery is very much alone. That hook just did not hit anything. Hazorbs is trying to put the damage in on his copy on Jaina, but Bakery gets out of there. And, well, still no kill for Roccat. They still don't have a kill. It really helped that Tyrande took Overflowing Light on 13, so she was able to get some extra heals in to keep those heroes alive. Very well played, by the way. And in this semi-final, things are looking very strong for Bob. If they are able to advance to the final, that would be the 3rd final for them in the End of the Storm qualifier series. That would be insane. They won yesterday's qualifier, and today they are looking extremely strong once again. I have no doubt, there's no doubt in my mind, that they are going to be participating in the main event, and I can't wait to see them there against the likes of Fnatic, Team Liquid, and Gamers 2, because Bob is super solid. And the thing is that Roccat is also extremely strong. I mean, it's not like Roccat is a pushover team that you just easily defend. Roccat is very good, and currently Bob is just playing an amazing game. They are running the Stitches composition that they drafted, and I do not think that Roccat was prepared for it. Level 13 is going to hit very soon for Roccat, and it's not like they're out of this game just yet. I mean, they're rotating through the map now. They're going to take the Khaldor over there, and with those they should be able to push the top lane a bit, down to the bot lane. Chris is also now moving in and trying to de-push this one. It's additional experience that he's going to get for the team. And the most important part is that now that both of them are on level 13, we're going to see them move into the middle for the next Immortal fights to make sure that they have a fair fight here with even talents. But Roccat is already starting to get a bit low on their own Immortal there. It's being attacked, but it's always easier to defend your own Immortal than attacking the opponents because of those extra stuns and the abilities that the Immortal is using. So both teams are running camps now on the lanes, but this Bruiser camp is a menace to deal with because that Shaman is always re-summoning those Fellhounds that you can see there. So it's not really easy to take that out. 14 against 13, the talents here. Condemn being used. A Thero Angel in position. Having them trying to defend even more. Abathur, of course, can help out, but so far is also soaking a bit of additional experience. We're seeing him in a very passive position. The stun attempt against Sport Billy, not happening just now. Zeratul is there, not on the Abathur hunt this time, but with the team. A nice condemn against Stitches, and the immediate lockdown with the roots as well. But so far Stitches is just dancing around, making sure that he does not hit a hook and trying to position himself in a way that he can get another stun in. Once that he has, well, with another hook in for the stun follow-up. Immortal is already on half HP. That means that they are changing positions now. And with that position change, well, what's Roccat going to do? I really feel they have to do something here. The first thing that they had to do was de-push the top lane, because as I mentioned before, that Bruiser camp re-summoning the Fellhounds is just super difficult to deal with. Here comes Roccat, and good stun against Zagara. The Web Blast being used. We immediately see a Starfall, and the kill maybe against AD. He's getting healed over and over again, and it's a Nubarak that dies first. Zagara is still alive, still no kill for Roccat. I can't believe that Zagara survived. Tyrande and Uther getting the heals in down here. It's finally a kill for Roccat. They take down Zeratul and they might get Uther now. They're chasing the heroes and Bakery is about to die. So finally we see a few kills for Roccat. They are able to drop 2 heroes, 7 kills against 2, and they're going for Zagara now as well. All of a sudden it's starting to snowball. Zarmany is moving away as Shadowmar tries to lock him down with a quick root. Thero Angel could try and hit another hook here. Yeah, that Immortal is extremely low, but now there's an opportunity for Roccat to get a few hit points away from the blue team's Immortal, actually from the red team's Immortal in this case. Thero Angel once again there. Zeratul is back to business by now. Zarmany is getting a rather low. And up here to the top we see Sport Billy trying to put some damage on the Immortal. But of course down here is super low. If they can just rotate over with 1 or 2 heroes, they could be able to take this one. 16 talents are going to hit any second, by the way. Snitch is moving in now. The level 16 for them is on the board, and immediately Roccat moves back. They move back immediately. They know exactly that they can't do anything about it. Fishing hook now on level 16. 16, by the way, now also for Roccat. You can really tell that with those last 3 kills that they got, they suddenly bridged the level gap that they had compared to their opponents. So they are on eye level right now. They are on exactly the same level. We're seeing also Shooting Star now taken. We're having the Rending Cleave instead of the double bombs on the side of Zeratul. The bot lane is being pushed at this point. And we're seeing one imposing presence, a hardened focus. We're having Blessed Hammer taken, Envenomed Spines after the Soma transference, a full support build for Abathur, disregarding those 2 Toxic Nest talents that he took. Here's the Web Blast, yeah, Bakery got safe out of this one immediately. The Starfall, on the other hand, is also slowing Roccat down now as Snitch moves in with the rest of the team. They are just moving back away, and that Immortal in the meantime is going full ham on those structures, taking down the second tower in a second. Of course, we're having once again also now Bob moving in to try and drop them. Here's Zagara, by the way, with 40,000 hero damage compared to the 27,000 that we're seeing on the side of Abathur, who is the highest DPS hero against hero damage on the side of Roccat. Kill against the Nubarak, and Zagara, is she gonna get out of there again? Yes, she is. Zarmany and Bakery are both putting their heals to use and keep her alive, and the first keep in the game goes to Roccat. No, actually to... Oh, wow! This is Malfurion about to die. Chris was using the ice block, and the hook goes through the ice block, catches Malfurion. Oh, he didn't see this one coming. Jaina, you traitor. And the stun against Jaina. Jaina is dead, Malfurion is dead, and Anubarak got Anubaraked. Zocca, the only one to move away. Abathur, of course, is still alive too. He's soaking experience up at the top. But, oh, that poor Malfurion. He positioned himself probably on purpose behind Jaina and just said like, alright, better you than me. All of a sudden she uses Ice Block, Ethereal Angel doesn't even know what's going on. Suddenly the hook goes through Jaina, hits him Malfurion, and he's like, well, that's not really what I wanted, but I'll take it. And then they get the kill against Malfurion thanks to Snitch. I don't think anybody really expected that, but yeah, that was an interesting turnout. Level 18 versus level 17. They have nearly a 2-level lead. They're going to hit level 19 very, very soon. Down to the bot lane. Johanna is now pushing this out. The Immortals are spawning again. It's 10 kills against 3 at this point. 10 against 3. Oh, they are playing such a great game. And again, this play with the Bruiser camp. I think both of the teams... Nope. Nope. This Bruiser camp over here has another 3 minutes. But yeah, it's of course the perfect timing again for Bob to take the Bruiser camp to the right side. They're going to have a very heavily pushing top lane. And Roccat will have to rotate to deal with it. They will have to rotate to deal with the top lane. There's nothing else that they can do. And over here, we have now all 5 of Bob moving in to deal with this one. Snitch is there with a Zeratul, ready to bubble if need be. Can go for the Void Prison if he really has to. And yeah, there's the hook attempt again, but the stun against Uther thanks to the Immortal. They are moving in. The top lane is being pushed, as we've said about camp. Oh, Maw not hitting anything because Zeratul was a bit faster. They have 2 great engagement tools, a section of heroes, but they should coordinate it a little bit better. We already have the Prudric Ball used on Stitches. Yeah, but they had to all move away here. They're just buying time and they're welling up. The copy is down, which is important. And just look at this camp over there. It's going to start to put pressure on the keep very soon. And that's why Bob is not afraid of dragging the fight in the mid lane out for as long as they potentially can. Here comes Zocke moving in. AD getting rather low, but Sport Billy is in the same boat. Here comes the Divine Shield on Zagara, keeping her alive for now. Can the game maybe get another heal in? Stitches is super low, gets healed in the last second, but he is about to die. A double kill for Roccat. Abathur is trying to defend the top lane. As you can see here, we're having Abathur still in position. He is already well taken out, and that keep is suffering hit point losses as well. Over there is once again the attack against the Immortal, and this time it's actually looking very good for Roccat. Are they going to start to make a bit of a comeback here? That's the big question. Shadowmar, Zocke, Chris and Sport Billy are in position. We have Snitch and Bakery as well as Zarmony trying to defend at least a tiny bit. Maybe stunning somebody out, put a bit of additional damage in, prepare someone for a kill then later on. If they can get a quick snipe, that would be amazing, but so far it doesn't really look like they can. Over here we have now that Immortal bursting down. That could be the first Immortal for Roccat. It looks very much like that's exactly what's going to happen here. They are starting to... I don't really want to call it a comeback, but they are really still clinging onto this game. They want to reach the finals now, and for good reason. And we didn't see them with a single structure taken, well, not an important structure taken out. The forts are still alive, the one at the bot lane and the one up at the top. But that's not gonna last for too much longer because, well, that Immortal is going to do some work, and at the same time the teams are now aiming for level 20. We're having down here now Zocke, Shadowmar, Sport Billy and Chris keep pushing that Khaldor camp that was taken a bit earlier. The Immortal is already moving in without any hero support, so they are just going to try and drop that. We're having Bakery over here already already trying to get in position. Level 20s are about to hit any second. So, yeah, this point, as you can see, is going to be the... Oh, no, Nogane stun against Malfurion. Can they get him? Not quite. He also had an Ice Block that he could have used, but the first fort is now down. So the first fort is eliminated. Zocke moves in. Sport Billy is there too, up at the front line. They're trying to go through the wall here. They kind of have to. They really need to risk something now, especially since they have the level 21st. With a Hive Mind on Abathur, that's amazing for them. They're also having, of course, Indestructible now on the side of Johanna, which is going to be great for her for the sustain. And they're moving in against Zagara, trying to drop AD. Great move by them. And they had the Web Blast at the perfect time to make sure that Bakery couldn't use his Divine Shield. They are about to take a keep. They were behind the entire game. They got wrecked in the early game, but they drop a keep, and just with a simple move like that, getting the Immortal, getting those double kills, using that level 20 talent, they are now in a position where they might be able to win this after all. 10 kills against 6. We have both team now with level 20 abilities, since we're seeing the rewind on Zeratul and also on Tyrande for the double stun. First stun coming in, and Doesn't really matter. Once again, the Divine Shield, this time on Tyrande, trying to heal everybody out. The Owl moves in. The second stun was already there as well. A Thorough Angel moving back on Stitch is actually going to be able to escape here, at least for now. But in comes Uther with a quick attempt to stun out Zocke. Snitch is still on the hunt. Here comes that stun attempt, but the Iron Skin was ready once more, and Zocke uses his trade to escape out of this situation. Very well played here. Shadowmar, Sport Billy, and Chris are already moving away once more. And yeah, this is going to be a lot closer than I actually thought after this early game that we had for Bob. They have not won this just yet. They have put damage at the top keep, they destroyed the keep at the bot lane, but Roccat is fighting back. And now the Immortals are about to spawn again, and both teams go for their Berserker. Looking at damage, we have Zagara still with the top damage in the game on 54,000. Zeratul, by the way, on 23,000 now. Just to give you a bit of an idea, he's currently at 36 seasoned marksman stacks. Not really amazing 23 minutes into the game. It's just one of those talents that you also don't see too often on this map here in particular, just because you won't be able to get too many stacks. If this was, for example, a map like Tomb of the Spider Queen, he would probably be at 50 already, 23 minutes into the game. Right now, well, maybe not quite 50, but closing in on them. So in terms of damage, we have Abathar, thanks to Hivemind of course, also now at 43,000. The top lane looked for a second like Roccat wanted to go for an attack against the keep, but they decide against it. We're seeing over here the attempt to take the Immortal down, but both of the teams are just like moving around each other. It's not really... It's basically a game of chicken, just trying to go for moves. Oh, and the hook, and there's the kill again. No, what? How? What? What was that? Oh my god, Sport Billy survives. I have no idea how he managed to do that. No clue whatsoever. He just barely got his shields up and is able to survive all of that burst damage. Unbelievable. I saw him dead. I swear to god, I thought he was dead, and he somehow survived all that damage that was dished out. I think Bob also thought that he was down. I definitely think that they probably held back on one or two abilities because they said, okay, this is it. He's dead. That would have been exactly the pick that I needed. Exactly the pick. But they didn't get it. And now it is still anybody's fight to take. Unbelievable that he survived. Unbelievable. In this case now, looking at the damage here once again, well actually like let's take another look at the talents. We have an Uburak with imposing presence that definitely help. Oh, great moves again, Zeratul, but he blinks away. Oh, there's already the Web Blast being used in the backline. It was the quick Void Prism, and here comes Snitch, putting the damage on Chris, but getting hunted by Sport Billy, and down goes Zeratul. Yeah, he got a bit too greedy there, was too far away from the rest of the team. There was no opportunity, but maybe an opportunity to take down. Nope, they can't take him down. That Hardened Shield really what saved Sport Billy earlier, and the Hardened Shield was what saved him here again. Zeratul is down for 47 seconds. It was the one thing that really kind of kept him alive. And that kept Sport Billy alive, the Hardened Shield, but Zeratul, of course, with him being down, trying to jump in again to get that kill against Jaina. That was a pretty big upset here. And just in a situation where you have a 4 versus 5, you can't move in and simply take a fight. You can't do that. They might feel forced to do something about it. Maybe they can hunt Abathar, but I don't really think so. So they're trying to put as much damage as they can on the opponent's Immortal to keep that shield at least low. But there's another 16 seconds until we are seeing Zeratul back to business. Let's see. Thorough Angel is still there. Zarmini as well. Bakery now too. And yeah, Sport Billy. He's the one that they're trying to... The funny thing is that the level 7 talent doesn't even help him, since he took the damage talent and not any kind of like talents that give him extra survivability. It was really the Hardened Shield. Tyrande being isolated this time. They cannot continue like this. They're losing heroes in those fights super early on, and it turns it into 4 versus 5 again. And this is just going to be their downfall. They are snowballing. Roccat, that is. The Divine Shield Uther keeps him alive for another second, but Chris is going to take him on. Not even with this attempt to use the Shrink Ray is he going to survive. Bakery is going to fall eventually. He can run, he can hide, he can try, but he is not going to escape here. Bakery dies. Chris and Abathur are just strong enough. And over here, as you can see, we're having now Snitch trying to put some damage on the Immortal, but this is starting to look extremely bad for Bob. They had an amazing early game, and as I said, they met Roccat in the last 2 weeks already 3 times. Well, that's the 3rd time here, but the last 2 times that they faced each other was in best of 3 series, and every single time Bob was able to win it with a 2-1. Were very close games, but right now with 10 kills against 10, it just looks like this might be a victory for Roccat. They are in a great position. Uther, oh, he had his redemption, of course, and got killed now at the bot lane again. I completely forgot about his 20. But yeah, with the redemption, he got taken out here at the bot lane, and it's just, oh, this must be painful. They had such an amazing early game. It was so good. And now they are losing heroes left, right, bottom, and center. Snitch has to jump away again. Can they chase him down? They try. Sport Billy is there. There's no heal. And the web blast in time. They take down Zeratul. Bob was falling apart here in the end. The coordination was really top-notch in the early game, but now this is just a disaster for them. They lose way too many heroes. That missed kill against the Nubarak earlier was a very, very big problem here. And as you can see, Hazop, Shadowmark, Chris, the Roccat boys are going to finish this game right now. They're moving in towards the core. The game's over. Battlefield of Eternity ends with a victory for Team Roccat. Congratulations, taking down Bob with a pretty amazing comeback here. What an amazing comeback by Roccat. They got destroyed in the early game. Roccat was able to get their kills in. They had that Stitches being such a menace every time with those hooks, the stuns. Zeratul coming in as well. And Roccat, they were pushed back over and over again. They lost everything there, and it looked like they would lose the game as well. But they turn it around. They come back into the match, and they push slowly and steadily Roccat back and start taking their chances here. And at the end of the game, it is Roccat that is triumphant. Very well played here. Bob suddenly out of the tournament. It looked like they might be able to move on to the next final and maybe go for another tournament victory, but not so today. Roccat saying like, listen up guys, this is not going to happen. We are going to be the ones that go into the final. Very well played here by Roccat. Great game by Bob as well, but just when they really needed to close out the game, they didn't have it there, and then they opened an opportunity up for Roccat to turn things around and win the match. So pretty cool game here on Battlefield of Eternity. Super fun to cast. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it, and if you did, give the video a thumbs up on YouTube, and of course if you have any questions, then just drop them in the comment section. Guys, it was a pleasure casting for you today. It was a lot of fun, and I hope that you enjoyed the commentary. Make sure that you tune in for the next Heroes of the Storm video here on the channel, and I hope to see you soon again. Thank you very much for watching today. Have a good one. Bye bye.